I promise that we will go to Disneyland next year. I promise that you can have a bike for your birthday. I promise that I will do the washing up today. I promise that I'll do the washing up every day. I promise to be your friend forever. I promise to help you with your homework. I promise to be your partner in PE. I promise that I'll invite you to my party. I promise to pray for you every day. I promise to read my Bible every day before school. I promise not to be nasty to my little sister. I promise to walk the dog every day before school. I promise that I will look after the hamster if we get one. I promise to keep my room tidy. I promise to learn my lines for the play. I promise to do my best to score a goal. Some of those promises are difficult to keep, but would be really good to keep. Some of them are quite easy to keep. Some of them might be impossible to keep. Imagine if someone last year had promised that they would take their family to Disneyland, and they saved up all the money, they booked their time off work, they did all these things, and they can't go because we have to stay at home, and they've broken their promise. Or the person who says, I will wash up every day, and then one day they arrange to go and visit their friends, and they eat dinner, and then they have to go off and play with their friends or an important meeting, and they can't wash up. It's funny, isn't it, when we make promises, and sometimes we make promises and we don't keep them. So we think, what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to say, I promise on, and we promise on something. We say, I promise on, and across my heart, I promise on my dog's life. It's like that. I promise on the Bible. Promise on the Bible. But you know, Jesus in the Bible said something different to that. But before we get onto that, I think we need 52 seconds of squat thrusts. You know, that's where you put your hands and your feet on the floor, and then you bring your knees towards your arms, and then you push your feet back again. So it's like this. I'm doing it on here. Are you ready? 52 seconds, go. Yeah, that's right. In the Bible, Jesus had some really strong words to say about making promises. When he was giving his sermon on this mountainside, he said, you've heard that people in the past said, do not break a promise, but do what you've promised to the Lord to do. But I tell you, do not make any vow. Don't promise to anything. Don't say, I promise by heaven, or I promise by earth, or I promise by Jerusalem, because that's where God's crown is, that's where God's feet are, it's where God's king is. Don't promise, don't swear by your head, because you cannot make a single hair white or black. So don't make those promises. Then he just says, just say yes and no. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. It shouldn't be that we're only honest, we're only promise things when I promise by something. This is totally the truth. We should never have to say this is totally the truth, this is totally my promise, this is totally, because it should just be yes. Yes, because I'm being honest. No, because I'm being honest. No. But it is interesting when we think about promises, because in the Bible there were some great people who made promises. Hannah, she was waiting and waiting for a child, and she promised to God that if she had a son, she would present him back to God. And when she had a son, she presented him to Eli in the temple, and he grew up in the temple, did young Samuel. Joshua made a promise to Rahab when they helped the spies escape from the town before Jericho was destroyed. Joshua made sure Rahab and her family were safe because he had made a promise to keep them safe. Ruth was someone who had left her own town, her own place, and she had gone and been with her husband, and then her husband had died, and all these things had happened. And when Naomi said, look, it's time for you to go back home, she said, no, I promise to stay with you. And that's what she did. She stayed with her and was so faithful. So people can make really big promises. And when we make really big promises, it's really good to keep them. But at other times, we should just say yes and no. I will do that. Or even, did you notice one of them said, one of the promises was, I promise to score a goal. We can't promise to do that. But perhaps we could promise that we'll do all we can to score a goal. Or even not use I promise at all, just say I will do my best to score a goal. I will do my best to keep my room tidy. I will wash up. It's probably enough, isn't it? Not meaning you'll just wash up once, but you will wash up, you will do your bit, you will help. All these different things we can say. Sometimes we might want to make a promise, but other times we just need to say, yes, I will do that. I will. So we've been thinking about promises and about things we can say, and in the windows everywhere at the moment are rainbows. I was thinking, why not we make a rainbow? Because a rainbow originally was the sign of God's promise to men and women, where he's promised everyone that he wouldn't flood the world again. And that was a sign of God's promise. So why don't we make a rainbow and then hang from one side, from the bottom of that rainbow sort of thing, some of the promises that God has made us. I will never leave you. I will always be with you. I will forgive you. I will always love you. I will hear your prayers. I will save you. And then on the other side, perhaps we can say some of the things that we want to do. I will try and be kind. I will Make some of yours, but make them honest. Let's not promise things that we can't keep, but let's say what we're going to try and do, what we will do. God makes promises and he keeps them because of who he is. Let's be people that when we say yes, when we say no, we mean it. And let's make our dedication to say, yeah, I will do this. So that's our challenge today. Make this rainbow. On one side, hang things that say, this is what God has promised. And on the other, things that say, this is what I am committed to doing. This is what I'm. And you may think, this is what I'm promising to do. Thanks very much, everyone. And we'll see you on Sunday for our next live at 5. Bye-bye.